Yeah, I think you guys that have covered us now going on our fourth year here, I just don't give coach speak and, give credit unless credit's due. Our players played really well today, and I told them that. Obviously, there's things to get better. We all know that, but I commend them for how they started the game. Also commend them at halftime because, a lot of times when you have leads like that, you come out flat in the second half, or when the 2s and 3s go in, you do. So I commend our guys, our coaches, putting a lot of off-season work, making the roster, and then making sure these guys understood, we got a game to play to get to 1-0. And, it's good to be back in a winning locker room too. It's been a long off season, so that part was good, and I'm just really pleased with how they played. Obviously not perfect ever, but really, 2 significant plays, the fumble and the first run of the game by them. Outside of that, that's a pretty good day, and to be able to play so many players.
Lane, can you take us through the decision to start Jaxson today, and do you foresee him being your starter going forward?
Well, that took a long time. I was just excited we won by a lot, before I got that question. So I told you guys, I thought both guys had a great camp, had played really well in the scrimmages, the mock game. That felt really good about both guys being able to win for us. And I thought both guys played extremely well today and, made a lot of plays. I think Jaxson started 11 for 11. Spencer throwing 2 touchdowns. So, at the end of the day, we had to make a decision who went first. And Jaxson did a really good job. And now we'll go back and go to work this week and, just get all our players better. So that was really good to see. And I know there's people out there that say, well, people need to be named starters for them to play well. He wasn't named a starter and went 11 for 11, so I don't think that theory works very much, that, keeping competitions open is a bad thing.
Lane, with Kyron Heath getting to start at tight end, and aside from getting 3 catches at 48 yards, do you feel like you saw what you needed to see out of him in this first career start?
I thought he did a good job. Stepped up with pre-scoring at the last minute, not being able to go today. So that's a lot in our offense to play, because you got to play outside and play in open space and then play in as a normal tight end. So I thought he did a really good job, really, for his first significant playing time to start. He did a good job in there.
Tre, it looked like he was coming along well at camp, kind of grasping everything, but just your initial thoughts of the performance he had today for your offense.
Yeah, you guys had asked about him, and you guys had seen him out there. So, I didn't really want to jinx him, but I really thought he had played like this the whole camp. Had really looked like a really dominant SEC receiver. So for him to go out and perform today in his, first Power 5 game and catch 4 touchdowns, in whatever 2.5 quarters of play, was pretty neat to see.
I'm going to ask you an obvious question. Do you hope to be able to play this many people moving forward, or is this just kind of an experiment day when you got a big lead?
That is an obvious question. We would like to have leads like this and play everybody. That would be good in every game. So ideally, when you do get ahead, you want to be able to play guys, especially when you got so many new guys that need to play and never played together, and a lot of new coaches, a brand new defensive system. So that was really good to have. Obviously, the goal is to win the game, but to be able to get up early enough to play so many guys and now be able to watch film on them and see how they did and get the experience was really big. Because again, half that locker room we never played with.
After that first play by Mercer, the touchdown, just how did you feel the defense kind of responded after that, just overall with this new system under goalie?
Well, I said on the headset, we paid a lot of money, Pete, for you, and that's not exactly what we're expecting. So that wasn't a real good start, but they did tell me after that we only get 14 yards rushing. So Maybe my joke he responded to. But no, that first play broke on the quarterback pulling it, and then we settled down and played really well. And I thought did a number of things to kind of give them some issues.
Lane, it looked like Trigg wasn't dressed to start the game. Was he brought in the second half kind of out of necessity, or was that the plan all along?
You know, we have discipline in our program that we never, that we handle internally, and so that was part of it. And it was good to see him respond and play really well in the second half. And that had nothing to do with anyone else's play or injuries. That was the plan. So it's good to see him come out and play really well.
Questions up top? Coach, regardless of who you're playing, 73 points is a lot to put up on the scoreboard. Just take me through the entire offensive game plan as a whole and just how well it played out today.
Yeah, I mean, I know, say, okay, well, it's the opponent, and but those guys play hard, You go 2 years ago at Alabama and look at, how they played defense early in that game at Alabama, and then hung around with Auburn last year for a while. So that's not a team that normally goes to the SEC and has scores like this, especially defensively. So that was really good to see. It's hard to produce that consistency in those type of numbers, versus your service team. So that's a lot of people doing a lot of things right, and obviously led by, the quarterback. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people stop the run with, Q returning and, leading the SEC in rushing most of, I think, 2 or all 3 years we've been here. So that was kind of expected that you're going to have to throw people out of some defenses.
I believe Tre's 4 touchdowns were a school record. Is there anything specific that you saw just working for him, or what was helping him be so effective?
I think he prepared really well. Really love everything about this kid, how he prepares, how he focuses on the game. Really struggles with guys that don't want to be like that around him. And so it was awesome to add him. And he really responded today. So pretty neat. Kind of has some Mingo personality to him, too, of just, goes to work, doesn't say very much, doesn't get, not one of these guys that wants to celebrate because they make a first down and, do some big dance. So really good to see receivers like this.
And then kind of how cool was it to see Spencer, when he gets his chance to go in there, just be so effective and just, how much easier is it for you when you have 2 really, really good quarterbacks?
Yeah, there was not an exact plan there of when that switch was going to happen. It's hard to switch when someone's playing so well, things are going so well. So I commend Spencer because, just a guy that started 41 games. So that's not easy to do, to go, sit on the bench for a half. So I commend him, the way he stayed focused and he came in and played well.
We've talked a lot about the offense, but a big part of this win is also the defense. Saw a lot of fumble recoveries, sacks, interceptions, you name it. Just talk to me about their performance today.
Yeah, outside of that play, I thought the defense really swarmed the ball, really rushed the passer, and got some turnovers too. So it was really good to see.
I got one more, Coach. Obviously big game today, big win, but next week going down to New Orleans to take on Tulane. Just what are your first thoughts going there?
Yeah, that's a big challenge. Cotton Bowl champs. Coming off of beating the Heisman winner in USC, and then going to their place and playing them at home in top 25 teams. So that's a really big challenge this early in the year.
Lane, you've raved about Centurion Perkins ever since he signed here, and to see him lead your team in tackles and kind of just be sideline to sideline the whole game, was it any surprise to see what he did today?
Really wasn't. That's how this guy has played in every practice. He's been in every scrimmage. So, so we expected him to be, and a lot of energy put into him recruiting for a reason. So, really good to see. We've not really had impact defensive freshmen necessarily like that. So it's great to have. All right, guys. Thanks.